Stop counting the days lost in the rhythm.
Hey there! So, at the United Nations Climate Summit in Dubai, the United States and 21 other countries made a promise to triple nuclear energy capacity by 2050. They believe that nuclear power is crucial for reducing carbon emissions and achieving near-zero levels in the coming decades. Supporters of nuclear energy argue that it is a clean, safe, and reliable complement to wind and solar power, which currently supply 18% of electricity in the United States. However, one major obstacle is funding. Just last month, a small nuclear reactor project in Idaho had to be cancelled due to rising costs. The price tag for building the reactors jumped from $5.3 billion to $9.3 billion because of increasing interest rates and inflation. Despite the challenges, 22 countries, including Britain, Canada, France, Ghana, South Korea, Sweden, and the United Arab Emirates, signed a declaration to triple nuclear capacity from 2020 levels. This expansion would not only help reduce Europe's dependence on Russian oil and gas but also require significant investment. In advanced economies, where nearly 70% of global nuclear capacity exists, investment has stalled due to skyrocketing construction costs, budget overruns, and delays. Additionally, nuclear power plants take longer to build compared to other forms of energy generation. To address the financing issue, John Kerry, President Biden's climate envoy, mentioned that there are trillions of dollars available for nuclear investment. He clarified that nuclear power is not meant to replace all other energy sources but that scientific evidence shows it is necessary to achieve net zero emissions by 2050. Nuclear power is carbon-free, and a report from the International Energy Agency emphasized its importance in reducing carbon emissions in line with the goals of the Paris Agreement. French President Emmanuel Macron described nuclear energy, including small modular reactors, as an indispensable solution to combat climate change. France, the largest nuclear power producer in Europe, currently generates about 70% of its electricity from nuclear stations. Macron and other leaders, like Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, called on the World Bank and international financial institutions to support nuclear projects financially. Kristersson emphasized that governments should share the financial risks and provide incentives for nuclear energy investments. While many world leaders view nuclear power as the most effective alternative to fossil fuels, some climate activists disagree. They argue that nuclear energy is too expensive and slow to be a viable solution. They also point to the risks associated with nuclear power, citing the Fukushima disaster in 2011. Despite the differing opinions, the International Energy Agency reported that almost all of the 31 reactors under construction since 2017 were designed by Russia or China. China is expected to become the leading nuclear power producer by 2030. On the other hand, Germany recently shut down its last 3 nuclear plants. Nuclear capacity experienced growth in the 1980s, particularly in Europe and North America, but declined significantly after accidents at 3 Mile Island in Pennsylvania in 1979 and Chernobyl in 1986. Since then, new technology and stricter regulations have been implemented. According to a Pew Research Center study, Americans have mixed feelings about nuclear power. However, the study found that a growing number of people support its expansion compared to a few years ago.